Welcome to Allies or Enemies. I'm Jess.
And I am Shawn, and this time we are talking about the UK Games Expo, and more importantly, the games that we want to play at the UK Games Expo. And the UK Games Expo is the largest board game convention here in the UK, and one of the biggest in Europe, I think the second biggest in Europe maybe, and it's taking place June 2nd to 4th up in Birmingham. So that's just next weekend from when we're recording this.
Yeah, and we love going there. It has many different halls with tons of publishers. There's also a huge bring and buy, so we drop off games, always pick up some other ones. There's a library with lots of games to play. They also do tournaments and things, but we've never participated in those ones.
Yeah, I feel like we're not ultra competitive enough or good enough. I think the good enough is probably the most important thing. Yeah.
But we do like to demo games, and so we made a list of the top 10 games we're most looking forward to playing. So these are ones that are newly released or kind of new this year we haven't had a chance to play yet.
Yeah, a lot of them are just new to us.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, the most important thing with a demo. You don't want a demo of a game you play. And another thing that I want to mention, if anyone wants to play test games, we're actually excited pretty soon. There's going to be a bit of an announcement on the channel and a bit of a launch of a website I'm putting together of a bunch of games that I'm currently designing. There's 4 different ones. I'm going to have them in my backpack. If you see me and you want to play test them, or even if you don't, just say hi. But if you would like to play test them, say hi, and you'd like to play test them, and I would love to do that with you. There's one about, it's very 80s about the summer. There's one about making a seaside town. There's one about making a winter market. There's one that is a real quick draft and write game where you're going on a vacation. I'll explain them more to you if you see me. I don't want to fill up the whole video. But like I said, there's going to be more about that. But right now, we're going to talk about real games that don't need extra play testing, that do exist. And so let's get into those.
First one is Books of Time, and this is published by Board and Dice. And so we generally enjoy Board and Dice games. We really like Tillatum that came out last year. So already we were looking to what they were bringing this year. And Books of Time looks really fascinating because you actually have these physical looking books, and it looks like you're drafting the pages of the books that go into them, and then those pages are setting yourself up for future actions, I think. So it sounds like it's very kind of customizable about what you can do based on the draft and how your pages go in.
Yeah, and I don't know like how this plays, so I'm making assumptions here, but it looks like it's like this action selection combo-y thing. The one thing I'm a little worried about is just, as a kid, I remember how many times I got my fingers stuck in those 3-ring binders, and there's a lot of popping those open and closed, so I may invest in some thimbles for this game.
But it looks really interesting having the physical binders, yeah.
Our second one is Indiana Jones Sands of Adventure. And there's actually 3 or 4 Indiana Jones games all coming out at once. There's, I think one's already out about like Throw the Idol. There's one that's like a quick card game. There's another one that's like a unlocky kind of thing. I don't know. But this one looked the most interesting. It looks like a little bit heavier than the other ones. It's a co-op game that I think has some card play, some action selection. It looks like it's based more on Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is my favorite Indiana Jones movie. So I'm really keen to check this one. It's just anything Indiana Jones.
And this is by the publisher of Funko Games. And so you want to visit them for that one. And I wanted to visit them for Disney Animated. We both enjoy Disney, but I love Disney. I worked in Disney World as a Canadian. So anything...
As her job was she was in the international thing, so her job was just to be a Canadian.
Yes, and I am, so I think I did it very well. But so anything Disney, I'm already drawn. And it's a cooperative Disney game. It sounds like you're trying to put on a feature film, and it's the classics like Alice in Wonderland. There's also 101 Dalmatians. And they have these really neat transparencies for like the film you're building out, it looks like, but the villains of the film are like thwarting you and getting in your way.
Yeah, it looks like kind of a reverse villainous where you're the hero but I think, are you working
together?
Kind of
meta though. I think you're not the hero. You're like the filmmakers, but the villain is like coming alive and getting in your way.
The villain, so it's like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 7, New Nightmare, when Freddy, they should use that in their advertising. Just like New Nightmare.
I suppose
Disney
so.
animated. Next up is one that's about as different from Disney animated as you can get, and that is Hegemony. And Hegemony is this asymmetrical game where different people are different like economic classes. And so I'm really excited for this. I know it sounds dry, a game about economics and politics and the different classes working together and against each other, but this is right down my alley.
And it seems like all the actions are so thematic and appropriate to the class that you're playing that you get really invested.
Yeah, and there's like the European Union like steps in, and it looks really interesting. So looking forward to play. It's very dry, but really looking forward to playing that one.
This next one isn't dry at all because it's about spirits. And it is... No, not those spirits. It's called Distilled, and it's about making spirits. And it's by this, I think, relatively new publisher, Paverson Games. And it looks amazing. And it seems to be a really, really tight resource management where you have to decide like whether to upgrade your factory or buy new ingredients, and it's very limited in what you can do because your money is quite restrictive to make your spirits and get those out to people. But what's interesting is there seems to be a bit of a push your luck element, and for something that is a tight resource management that people seem to like. So I'm intrigued about how that plays out.
Yeah, I'm just learning about it right now. I'm a little disappointed, but I'm okay. Hopefully it's ghosts making drinks.
It is not ghosts making drinks.
Oh, that would be great. Spirits for spirits.
I
want that game.
Copyright it.
Yeah. Another one that goes well with that, actually, food and drinks, is Burger ASAP. And this is probably the lightest one on our list, but it looks super fun. It's just that you've got a burger that you got to make. You got like a burger order. And then in your hand, you've got something like 7 or 9 or whatever it is cards. But each one of those is double-sided. So you can only make the exact burger if you get each card on the right side, because there's only like one order that those cards can go in. So you got to have like the back of this one, the front of this one, the back of this one, front, back. You understand what I'm saying. And you just got to put that together real fast. So it's just this like speed puzzle that I think is going to be really frantic and kinetic. And I like that sort of just like silly franticness, especially when I'm just doing my own little puzzle.
And I really like having those during a convention atmosphere because it can be really tricky if like you learn a really heavy game and then you go do another demo. You really want those lighthearted, quick, fun ones to give your brain a bit of a break.
And just those games you can, like, just when you're sitting down with people at a convention, having games like Rhino Hero or Kites or just fun, silly games like that, I think it's really nice to have a few of those in your backpack. So I'm always looking for another one.
The next one isn't a new release game, but a new expansion, and it's, I don't think, going to be released yet, but they're going to be doing demos of it, and that's Lost Ruins of Arnak, the Missing Expedition. And it has some interesting things like that you would expect from an expansion in terms of some new leaders, some new items, some new ways up the research tracks, and that kind of thing, which is all great, all the stuff we know and love. But what's also interesting, it seems to be adding a 6-chapter solo or 2-player cooperative campaign mode. So we really enjoyed when a normal non-campaign game adds a campaign. So I'm really intrigued as to how they're going to do that.
Yeah, it's great when Scythe, I think, has probably done that the best of anything. But yeah, anytime that's happened as well, It's a Wonderful World did that as well. So I love a campaign and in a game I already like. Awesome, and that's a game that we like a lot. Another one is Tribes of the Wind, and I have not been able to get my head around what this game is, so I just want to play it just so I understand what people are talking about. Because what I get of it is it's an asymmetrical game where you're in a post-apocalyptic society and you're trying to rebuild it with renewable energy, but it's got this card playing thing where when you're playing a card, you can kind of see the back of everyone else's cards. And the back of those cards, whatever resources is on them, affects the card that you are playing. Kind of like a competitive Hanabi-ish, like the back of their cards matters, but I don't know. I don't know. This is what I'm saying. So I want to play it. I want to do a demo of it so I get it because I've heard a lot of good things. I just don't understand what it is.
Yeah, we keep seeing it around and keep being intrigued, and we're like, okay, now's the time. This is going to be when we actually learn how to play it. The next one we want to check out is Moon by Sinister Fish, and we have the previous two. One is Villagers and one is Streets, and we really enjoy both of them. They come in these like fun little narrow boxes with like really white covers.
Yeah, I hated the box at first, and then I realized they actually both slide real nice into empty shelf spaces, so bring them on.
And we've been hearing about Moon for a little while now and haven't had a chance to play it. And I still don't know too much about it. It is a pick and pass game in which the cards, I think, let you build out your moon base, and they do different actions or have different resources or something on them. We'll find out soon exactly what you do, but just having enjoyed the previous two games, we were like, yep, let's try this.
Yeah, I don't even need to know much. Actually, back the Kickstarter of that too, so we've already got it coming. And yeah, I like the moon, I like space, I like the movie Moon, I like Sam Rockwell, who I don't think is featured in this game, but very keen to try it. And then the last one is one we've been looking at for a little while, and that is Mosaic. And I like Civ games in general. We've got a lot of them. If there's a Civ game, I'm probably going to at least give it a whirl. And this one looks like kind of particularly a good fit because it moves fast. This is what I've heard about it anyway. I haven't played it. So when I say this stuff confidently, do not trust me. But it moves fast. It's got, I guess, like 9 different actions. All of the actions are quite small and quick, so it's kind of zipping around the table, but they make a big impact on the game. And from what I understand, it's not that aggressive because Jess does not love when she's making stuff and then I smash it up.
It will be really interesting to see how this compares to other games like Civilization New Dawn, which is one of my favorites. And so I would love to try this out and see if it fits in those ranks.
But it's one that I've heard nothing but good things, and we've had our eye on since last year. So excited to try that. Excited to try all of these.
Yeah, and those were just 10 that we caught our eye when we were looking at the list of upcoming games. But one of the best things is always just wandering around and trying things out, because you never know what surprises there will be. And there's always some things that we hadn't even heard about before that we fall in love with.
Yeah, last year it was First Rat that we had never seen, and we came across it, and then we ended up playing it with the designer, or at least he taught us a little bit. We didn't play the whole game with him. But he was lovely, and that sold us in the game, and it was a cool experience, and I'm always looking for those. And again, if you want to playtest stuff, please come and bug me, because you won't be bugging me at all. Come and delight me by saying that you would like to play something, because I'm going to have a backpack full of stuff that I'm going to be trying to make everyone there give a whirl to and give me some feedback on. So if you would like to be part of that process, please find me and let's play a game.
And you can pop by the Playtest Zone on Sunday between 1 and 4, because you'll have an official table there then as well.
Yeah, between 1 and 4. I was late on this. I felt like I slept on it a little when I looked at it. All the good spots were taken. So I'm the last spot, but I'm closing it out. I'm shutting down the party.
So if there's anything that you're looking forward to about the UK Gaming Expo, please put that in the comments. Or if you're not going, we will do a wrap-up when we get back from it as well. But as usual, please like, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you next time for another game.